Digital marketing. That's all we talk about. But in this interview with Brandon Hawkins, partner at CFO Hub, we're going to talk about how he grew a multi-million-dollar business by doing offline marketing, networking, thank you cards, gifting, and about his really amazing partnership and what they're doing at CFO Hub. Mr. Brandon Hawkins, welcome.
How are you?
Good. Thank you for being on my podcast. I'm really excited to talk to you. You are one of my favorite people in the whole world. You really are.
Thank you.
Whenever I see you, because you have so much energy, you just light up a room and you make me smile and laugh. So I know we're going to have fun today.
Okay, I'm going to keep coming back to this place. This is better than my house some days.
Hey, I promote you.
I appreciate you.
Before we get into everything, just tell my audience a little bit about who you are and what you do.
Okay, well, my name is Brandon Hawkins. I am the Chief Revenue Officer for CFO Hub, which essentially means I'm the chief cheerleader. My team does all the real work, and I just get to go out in the street and talk about it. I am not a San Diego native. I'm here by way of Rhode Island because my dad was a base commander here in San Diego for what is now the NTC Promenade. So my dad was Commander Witherspoon, and he ran that place for a while. I came here, quite honestly, to go to 1 year in high school and then go back to the East Coast. And I discovered guacamole and this amazing woman. And I never left and ended up loving the guacamole and still having a relationship. Let's cut that one. Talk about her. So I came out here and discovered guacamole and an amazing human being that I ultimately married and had children with, and discovered finance and accounting and stuck. I stuck for the people and the weather. And so now, through being here, a year of high school here, went to the San Diego State University, which is amazing. Go Aztecs.
Yeah.
I have found that San Diego is probably in the top 10 economies in the world, but operates like a big ass town. And
Yep.
I love being a townie. So it's really important for us from a business perspective and me personally that we do business with people we like. We do business with people we see at the grocery store and at the soccer game. And we've just been really fortunate to be able to make that work.
Great. So tell us a little bit. You have a great story. You have like a really great partnership. Tell us a little bit about like how you started your business and your partners and how that works.
Yeah, it's interesting. Our founder of our company is Jack Perkins. And so Jack Perkins is our CEO and founder. Mark Jacobs is our COO. And I think Mark was probably the second employee. We started about 6 years ago as J. Perkins and Associates, but it was like really one associate. and they're San Diego State guys, a few generations behind me. And they were former EY guys, Deloitte guys, big four public accounting guys. And at some point, Jack decided that the biz dev piece was kind of a pain in the butt. And I got introduced to them by a mutual friend. And quite honestly, I went there to be the BD guy. And I was going to go there for like a year and then go back to my own consultancy, which was teaching bankers and banks how to sell things because they're historically not good at it. And I literally, and you'll hear me say this a couple times today, probably the corniest thing in the world. I just love these two dudes.
Aww.
It's insane. It's unreal. And I've worked at a bunch of places. Yeah. But we just kind of fell in love. And then at one point after a year or so, Jack came to me and he handed me some documents and he was like, yeah, my lawyer tells me I shouldn't do this. So, me, I think I'm in trouble. And it was, he had granted me a piece of the company. And so so Jack, Mark, and I now make up the ownership team, the leadership team. With Jack being the prime, he's the tip of the spear. But in my life of working at large companies, the Wells Fargos of the world and some small companies and other startups, no one ever kind of saw me that way and like believed me.
Yeah.
Believed in all the BS I say, and then believed in me. And then here's a chunk. And so together, the three of us, with a lot of luck, hockey stick this thing. And so we went from 3 employees and a little bit of money to 54 employees, all W-2 nationwide, and a handful of them in London.
Yeah. That's awesome. And we know partnerships can go south and they cannot be fun. How do you guys make your partnership work? Obviously, you're going to have ups and downs. Like, how do you make it work?
I think it starts with, it's really corny, but it's true. It starts with love. Like we really care about each other. My homies, my guys that I hang out with from college that are outside of business, we always would say to each other, like the definition of a friend is somebody who has your back when you're on your back, right? Everybody wants to be down when you're winning, but when you're on your back, who reaches down to help you up? And our journey has not been like perfect, and we didn't just, join together and rocket ship. It was work, both personally and professionally, to get us there. We really trust each other and respect each other, and we recognize our weaknesses. I know enough about accounting to be dangerous, but you don't want me helping negotiate a term sheet as you go through an M&A procedure. Conversely, my CPA partners, buddies, they're not necessarily the best at sales and funnel management. And so we just kind of stay in our lanes and we just work hard to protect each other and honor each other's opinion. And once in
Yeah.
a while, mostly them to me, they'll say, "No, that's not the way to do it," and then we make adjustments. So we're just luck. Luck is a big part of
Yeah.
it.
Oh,
Yeah.
well, and hard work, obviously. And, we met through a mutual friend, and I've watched CFO Hub grow, and it's been fun to see just how you're out there. One of the things I love about you is you're an amazing connector.
Thank you.
You're out there networking. You're just always, talk about BD. No wonder they brought you in for that.
Thank you.
What, for my audience, what advice do you have for people? Because networking can be hard and scary. Like, how do you get out there? How do you put yourself out there?
I'll tell you, it's I always tell people that a job isn't what you are, who you are. It's what you do to get money, then to go do what you love.
Mm-hmm.
But there are some of us that are kind of built for it. And sugary is one word I've heard, but what we do is one foot in front of the other. Get out there. The operative word in networking is working, right?
Mm-mm.
And so in San Diego, there are so many events to go to. And we do this in every region, every market that we're in. But no one wakes up and says, you know what, today I need to outsource my accounting department. So we can't really prospect. But what we can do is we can get out in front of people at events and functions and seminars and community events and meet people so that when that event happens,
Mm-hmm.
they think of us and we become
Right.
top of mind. I think it's a combination of that. I'll also tell you that we work very closely with what most folks would call competitors.
Mm-hmm.
Our founder, Jack, has this term that he's coined called co-opetition. And so
Love it.
in my mind, not just because I think we're the best, we just don't have competition. And I can name all of the principals at all of our competitors in town, and we all work together and share deal flow, whether it's capacity or expertise, or sometimes it's just not the right fit. If it's not for us, I know exactly who to send you to in town or out of town, and they do the same for us.
Yeah, that's great. I'm familiar with some of the other your competitors, and you guys all do seem to work together. And it's interesting. In the marketing world, I would say agencies don't do this as well. Although I've been trying to partner a
I
lot
see you.
more. Yeah,
Yeah.
and it just makes so much sense. So that's really good advice.
We all can't do it all. And what I'm learning as I get older and mature in sales leadership is my way is not the only way, and it is certainly not the best way. And so you just ask people, they'll tell you.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
So you're out there networking, you're a bulldog at that. What else are you guys doing to market your business?
Quite honestly, we could do a lot more. I think that was the genesis of my last call to you. I was like, help me. I think we do a lot of the traditional things. I think we work really well. We've got an internal team. Joe Perkins is his name, who helps us with SEO and
Joe.
pay-per-click and some of our outreach. We lever LinkedIn as a good tool. We really lever our partners in the marketplace. Folks like you're playing in a lot of the same ponds we are, so you hear some of the same things that we do or need to hear, and so we get those introductions quite a bit. I wish there was some magic bullet like sign spinning or something that worked. I'll tell you one thing that we did do last year that I pushed back on that was brought to me. It's like we were trying to solicit just a 15-minute consultation. And so we were sending out emails to folks that we thought were the right target. And we said, hey, we'll trade you a Yeti tumbler, which is like this $40 cooler drink holder that I wasn't aware of, for a 15-minute conversation. And it was brought to me and I was like, no way, we should not do this. The ROI is not there. Let me tell you.
Really?
Oh my God. People love these things. And they'll really like, when am I going to get the Yeti? What color is it? And so I got one. It's almost the only cup I drink out of now.
Where's mine?
I will get you one for certain. It might be bedazzled, but I will
All
get
right.
you one for certain.
Deal.
It's mine. It's bedazzled. But it's sometimes it's little things like that. And I'm from the old school, like 1990s of San Diego banking where it was a 3 martini lunch. It was term sheets on a napkin. It was that kind of thing. But it's the letter writing. It's the thank you follow-up. There was a woman in town. She used to run Northern Trust. She was with First Interstate before that, Susan Tenig, then Susan Mallory. And I watched her when I was like a rookie banker. I watched her go on these meetings with people. And her job was to figure out how she could lend them $10 million. But her desire was to find out what their kids were into. And she was like really serious about it. So I was going to like a Jackie Robinson event in town and I was on my way out and she's like, here, give this to Tony for me. And it was this little box. I'm like, what is this? And she's like, it's a baseball. I'm like, what does this have to do with our banking and our loan or line of credit? She's like, doesn't matter. Kid likes baseball. Give it to the dad gives it to the kid, sends a thank you letter. A couple of weeks later, we booked like a $10 million loan. It was a competitive environment. But what she showed me was, we're all at some point a commodity for our service,
Mm-hmm.
but the way we provide service is a differentiator. And so that stuck with me.
Yeah. No, that's really great. And, in marketing, everybody talks about digital, digital, digital. And it is important, obviously, content, social, all of that. But you're so right. Like one of the things that I still do is I always send a thank you card out to anybody I meet. If they spend time with me, like that's really valuable. And I love it. People are amazed to get a thank you card. And that's kind of sad in some ways that we don't do those little things anymore.
You would think, right?
Yeah.
It's interesting. One of the things I don't know if you know you do this, but I steal it from you and you've done it for me, which is a good thing. Which is, often people come to you because they are trying to expand their outreach, AKA market share, get a check. And so that's the crux of so many conversations. And those are the ones that you kind of have to have because you're trying to generate revenue too. But fairly recently, you took a conversation in a meeting with me that was not really related to you selling me stuff or asking me to help you find more clients, but you actually sat down with me and a young upstart college student is trying to find her way. And while we talked about what we could do to help each other for a few minutes, you spent a half hour, 45 minutes like, hey girl, do this, go here, look at this. And that was my daughter. I'm super appreciative of that as she is.
Aww.
I honestly, not that's just not an awesome, amazing thing to do, but the ROI on that, and I'm sure you do it for lots of people. People don't forget you did that.
Oh,
yeah.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
I do too.
And I love, it's funny, on another episode, we were just talking about mentorship and how important that is. And I love working with young professionals. I've got my own mastermind going. I'm a part of a mastermind. Like it's so important about community and helping each other out. And I think you're right. Like you and I started out as how do we help get business for each other, but we've really become friends. Yeah. And I appreciate that.
It's a unique thing. I hope it's not San Diego specific. I wish we could bottle this stuff up and we could sell that too. I would actually give it away, but
for sure.
Maybe a residual on the back.
Oh, well, Brandon, thank you so much. As we're kind of wrapping this up, because I know you got places to be and gotta go. You have an offer though for our audience in regards to accounting. What can our...
I will tell people accounting errors are cumulative. And so many folks have these amazing ideas and this great energy about their business. But if you don't have the appropriate financial infrastructure, whether it's a data room to store your documents or effectively and efficiently accounting for all the beans that you're out there making, you could run yourself into trouble, not only in just the day-to-day, but in your exit piece of it. And so what I tell people is, come talk to us, CFOhub.com, or you can just call me directly. I'm easy to find. In fact, if you go to LinkedIn and just type in, I get things done, my name pops up.
Which I love.
I got that early. Now I got to live up to it. But we'll give you a free gap analysis. Like our goal when we talk to you on the phone is never to say, oh my gosh, your financials suck. If you don't hire us, you're going to die. No, it's like, hey, you're actually doing it pretty well. You might want to consider this from a tax perspective or from an efficiency perspective. We can show you how to do it. We could do it for you, or I can send you to any one of these great folks in town who can do it for you. You'll hear me say, and I'll close it with this, is when we speak about our competitors in the street, I wish they all sucked. It would make my life so much easier, but they're all good. So I tell our clients, potential clients, if not us, somebody, don't try to do it yourself. Spend your time working the business, not doing the accounting.
Yeah, absolutely. And even as a small business, I did my accounting for a while and it's stupid. Just hire somebody who knows what they're doing. It's totally worth the investment. So if you're listening to this, you got to take Brandon up on this gap analysis. We'll put all your contact info in the show notes. And if you want to revolutionize, I'm actually going to change up my ending pitch. We've been talking a lot. It seems like a theme with everybody I'm interviewing is mentorship and community. I've started a marketing mastermind. I'd love to share that more with other people. It's so amazing the groups that I have right now and what we're learning from each other and just supporting each other. It's really important.
Oh yeah, keep me up on that. I'll give you a backlink on our side. And that's another way, just kind of behind the scenes, we can find ways to work together. I would just say finally, it's not just about in partnerships. It's not about referral fees and agreements. It's stickiness.
Yeah.
If I refer somebody to you and you do what you're capable of, it's going to change their lives and they may never leave me because of the referral I made.
Yep. I know.
It's easy work.
And it's good partners and good friendships.
Yeah, it is. Even better. Thank you, Reb.
Thank you, Brandon.